This is an overview of content items in Oracle Content and Experience Cloud. Content items are structured content, so in the same way we have digital assets and documents, you can also manage more structured forms of content. And you could have different content types representing your content items. So you could have news articles and promos and biographies and any number of content type definitions that you want to create. Let's look at an example of a news article. So here's a news article content type, and we'll look at a specific content item for news article. And you'll see here that there's some specific fields for name, description, author, date. So all of these are part of the definition of a news article content type. So anyone who's coming in and creating a new news article would see all of these fields and they would fill them out. In addition to that, you can have a layout associated, one or more layouts associated with your content item. So here we're looking at the default layout associated with this content type news article, but you could also have a summary layout, you could also have a grid layout, and you can have any number of layouts associated with your content types. And this is optional. You can also use this in a headless mode, and we expose all of the content items as JSON, so you can use it in a third-party application, mobile application, however it is that you want to use it. And there's some different sizing layouts as well if you want to see how this layout is going to look in different screen sizes. Let's go back to edit, and you'll also see here that there is some custom properties. So for example, you can add tags so you can easily find your content, and you can also associate collections with this content. A collection is just a grouping of content that you would use in a campaign or in a website. In this particular case, this content item is used in a intranet website. So once you're done making your changes, you go ahead and you save your content item. And let's just go ahead and see this content item in our collection, in our intranet site collection. So here in this collection for the intranet site, you can see all of the different content, including the digital assets, that are going to be part of this collection. And we'll see that our news article is here as well. And you'll see that it's in draft mode. So since we made that save, its status has now changed to draft. And if we want to publish it, we can go ahead and hit publish, and we can publish that news article. And once it's published, it's now tagged as being available for use in the intranet site or any place where that content item is being used. Now that we've looked at content items, let's look at the content types that are used to define the content items. So in the content item section, there's manage types. And here we can see some of the content types we already have, like promo, news article, blog. And you can define as many content types as you want. Let's look at the news article content type, and you can see the fields we saw earlier for author, date, content, image. And you can easily add and remove fields via drag and drop. Let's just put a new text field in here. Let's say we want to make this an abstract. We'll get a unique ID. And then you can specify how that field needs to be entered, like what the number of characters, the maximum number of characters, and even pattern validation. If that text field is an email or a URL, that can be validated. And then optionally, you have the content layouts. We saw that earlier as well, where this content type, like news article, can have different layouts associated with it. So there's a default layout. If it's appearing in a list, it can have a layout as how it would appear in a list. And you can define as many content layouts as you want. Like we saw earlier, the grid and summary, and you can add additional ones. So a developer would create a layout for the content authors, and then they would appear in this drop-down, and then they can add that new layout. So that is a quick summary of content items in Oracle Content and Experience Cloud.